In today's episode, we will talk about finding your first game opportunity. Welcome to the NITRO Does Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Nitro. So this is part 2 of finding your first game. So if you're in Learn to Play or you've taken Learn to Play and you think you want to play in a game but you're not sure what to do, and women's scrimmage isn't an option for you, then I think you're really left with 2 options: pickup hockey or joining a league. So today let's talk about pickup hockey. Pickup hockey is exactly what it sounds like. You sign up. Usually there's like a cap on the number of players. Ours is 20 plus 2 goalies, and whoever shows up plays. Sometimes it's also referred to as drop-in hockey. Sometimes if it's a really popular time slot, you actually really need to sign up ahead of time. Sometimes you can just show up at the Iceplex and there'll be space, and if they haven't reached that cap, then you can drop in. This is typically going to be all genders, although obviously it's going to depend on who signs up and who shows up. It's typically all ages and all skill levels, and similar to women's scrimmage, it is not officiated. Every time I've done pickup hockey, it's actually been a somewhat coordinated effort with a bunch of friends. So we'll send out a group text to our hockey friends and ask if anybody wants to sign up for the pickup game at such and such day time. So with that, we're somewhat organized. We make sure, since most of the people that I'm messaging we're all about the same skill level, so we're gonna split our skill level so that we're not all on one team. But I don't know that it's typically like that. I think typically you just show up, put on a jersey, and they're all right, light jerseys versus dark jerseys. And it's frequently focused on having an even number of players on each side. Sure, maybe if there's a bunch of high-level players that know each other and they recognize there's a bunch of novice or beginner players, maybe they divide themselves up. But really it's kind of up to whomever happens to be there. Having a wide variety of skill levels can be, it is very intimidating. At least it was for me. So here's a few tips to make it less intimidating. I kind of referred to this earlier, but inviting a few friends from Learn to Play and picking a specific game to sign up for. Also, be up front with the other players. You're typically all in a locker room ahead of time. So be up front, let them know, hey, I've just finished Learn to Play, or I'm in the middle of Learn to Play. This is my first ever game. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'd appreciate any help that you can give me. If I'm not doing something that subscribes to the norms, just let me know. Also, I don't know what offsides is, or whatever you maybe know you struggle with. You can also give them a heads up so that they can kind of help you. Ask questions of those longtime players, especially since you don't know how they sub in and out. Sometimes I've been when it's a full 20 players, sometimes we'll have designated defense and forwards, and so the defense will sub for defense, the forwards will sub for forwards. Some places it's just sit in a line, one player comes off, the first player in the line goes on, and you just kind of rotate through. It doesn't matter what position they were or weren't. You go in and you play that position or whatever position's available. So it kind of depends. Also, I would ask your director of hockey or your Learn to Play coaches if they know if there's a game, a time slot that tends to be beginner friendly. Sometimes there's trends to these things. Sometimes there isn't. And it's just, we have no idea. Whoever drops in, drops in. You can also go to the stick and puck that drop in ice time for practicing hockey stuff when they let you have a stick and a puck on there. So not a public skate, but a stick and puck. Some people call it puck play. You know what I'm talking about. Go to some of those and talk with the other people there and ask them about pickup hockey games. If they recommend a certain day or time. I know I've been asked that by players not even beginner players, just people I know that play hockey that are curious if I happen to know when good games, and by good for them, they mean a bunch of players, so that they can run full 5 players on the ice, 5 skaters on the ice. So I don't know if it's just our culture at our Iceplex or what, but the pickup games I've gone to, the dudes have all been really nice and supportive. Granted, I've primarily gone to games with other women and people that I know, but there's also been people I don't know at those. And I've also been asked to stay. Sometimes they have had women's scrimmage and then a pickup game after that. And sometimes they'll say, hey, we're looking for more players. Would you consider staying and playing the pickup game after the women's scrimmage? So they've been generally very supportive, and it's always nice to feel welcomed. I'll just preface, no, it's not prefacing, it's posting, whatever. I'll just mention that there will always be a small percentage of people in any group that are just jerks, right? It's gonna happen. Any group you're in is kind of a microcosm of society with that, so there will be a small percentage of people that are just jerks. Don't let that get to you. Just do your best. Be willing to learn, take feedback, ask for feedback, and be nice. And if someone does say something snarky, don't be afraid to remind them, hey, this is my first game. I'm learning. If you have something constructive or helpful, I'd really love to learn from you, and I really appreciate your help. And then you've kind of turned the tables on them. So in my first ever pickup game, again, we kind of coordinated the effort with it, and there were a bunch of us that knew each other, but then there were a bunch of people that typically play together, and there were some people that were pretty high level that were there. But it was a pretty good mix of beginner and high level. So I'm playing on defense, and I'm at the point, not really sure what I'm doing, just like trying to figure it out. And this one very good hockey player who actually played professionally kept passing back to me at the point. He was a forward, and I could not handle the pass. For the life of me, could not handle it. And not for lack of want or effort, I just, I was really new, and he passes hard. So we were sitting on the bench at one point, and I said to him, I'm really sorry, I haven't been able to handle those passes. And he just looked at me very nicely. He said, don't worry, if you're open, I'll keep passing to you. And he didn't say it in a mean way. He said it in a way like, the only way you're going to figure it out is if you keep trying and you keep getting opportunities. And as it turns out, his wife was in my Learn to Play. So maybe he got it because, his wife was learning to play hockey also. And it turned out, like my first ever day of hockey was his wife's first ever day of hockey. So that was a pretty cool connection. But he was just really supportive. Like, that's okay. The only way you're going to figure it out is if you keep trying. So I'm going to keep passing to you. And that really actually increased my confidence in going to things, because people were going to be supportive. They knew that I was going to make mistakes and that it was okay. So that was really, really a cool moment for me. One other thing to note, there are some rinks that offer pickup games by skill level. Sometimes they might be like once a week or at some other interval, but a nice option for beginners. If you don't have that option, maybe ask the director of hockey or the general manager if that is an option. Right now, we don't have that at our Iceplex, but there is a concerted effort to keep asking for it, to show that there is an opportunity and demand for it. In my view, it's a great way to grow pickup hockey by helping people join drop-in hockey in a safe, less scary way, even though, like I said, with some of the high skill players, once you get to know them, it's not scary. But, dropping in a situation where it'll be all players of your general skill level it is less scary. So mid to long term, I think that would help with signups for regular pickup hockey, right? So if you're like, okay, I can do the introductory level, now I've got some kind of game scrimmage experience under my belt, now I could go to the level that is open for, or the pickup hockey that's open for every level. So that'll help pickup hockey sessions in the mid to long term, and honestly also probably help people that want to join a league, because maybe you don't want to join a league until you've played some pickup hockey or played some games. But if you're afraid to play pickup hockey, then maybe you don't join a league. I think that those things will help each other. Speaking of a league, stay tuned for next time. We are going to discuss joining a league as a method for getting into your first game. Thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time, I'm Nitro. Bye.